Watch the video of the sun joining the Orca search team in Gibraltar. We met the squad of Sea Shepherd France in the port of Barbet, a small fishing village in Spain, as they search for the pod that have taken to attacking boats. The group, part of the Save the Iberian Orcas operation, is focused on documenting the Orca's interactions with vessels in the Strait of Gibraltar and preventing reprisals by sailors. One particular row pod of whales with its leader White Gladis has been behind several attacks, smashing into boats and causing them to sink. Earlier this year, the gang pummeled a 50-feet Alboran cognac with 2 people on board, sparking concern among the locals. In November 2023, they relentlessly battered a yacht for 45 minutes, damaging the boat's rudder and terrorizing sailors on board. It was suggested that gang leader Gladys could even be teaching younger members of the group, with her lieutenants Black and Gray Gladys, to strike the vessels. There have been over 600 Orca interactions with yachts and fishing boats since 2020 in the Strait of Gibraltar, known as Orca Alley. The high number of sightings prompted the project, as Sea Shepherd France works alongside scientists to establish the reason behind the rising number of orcas. We arrive at the Andalusian port, where Captain Thomas Lacaz welcomes us and introduces us to the Walrus's crew. The Walrus has been docked in Barbet since April and goes on expeditions patrolling the waters almost daily. Thomas shows us the so-called hot zone just south of the port, where they have had the most encounters with the killer whales. The team's leader, Lamia Essamlali, explains that the killer whales are usually found in Spanish and Moroccan waters, but it's not uncommon for them to reach Portugal, while during the winter they head up north and go as far as Brittany in France. While the reason the killer whales have shown an interest in boats remains a mystery, Lamia dismissed previous theories that the orcas are seeking revenge and is adamant that we are not on their menu. She explains that the most probable cause is that the orcas are curious about the vessels and are not approaching them to harm humans. Lamia told The Sun, "Even though they are top predators, even though they are so huge and powerful, and they can be very, very impressive, when they come towards the boat, they are actually really gentle." There is a theory that says that one of them got hit by a boat, and she, White Gladis, got mad, and so she wanted to seek revenge from the boat, and she taught that behavior to others. She is referring to the theory that Orca leader White Gladis is the one who started showing other orcas how to attack the boats. Alfredo Lopes Fernandes, a biologist at the University of Aveiro in Portugal, previously told Live Science that traumatized orca is the one that started this behavior of physical contact with the boat. But Lamia insists there is no scientific evidence to prove his theory, adding it doesn't even make sense. She told The Sun, "When you pay attention to the way they interact with the boats, there is not the slightest aggressivity in the way they do it. If they wanted to sink these boats, they wouldn't have sunk 4 or 5 like they have. They would have sunk the 600. There has never been any injury or anyone ever killed by an orca in the wild. The only cases were by orcas driven mad by captivity. In the wild, we simply are not on their menu." She shows us incredible underwater footage from one of the team's trips in the Atlantic, where a pod of 15 orcas play around a boat and gently touch the back of the vessel. She says, "If you compare that with a group of orcas that are actually attacking a seal or banging an iceberg, a block of ice to get, you can see the difference." Recalling the moment they encountered the pod, she said, "When we met the group of 15, we put cameras in the water, and it was very interesting to see how they were interested in cameras, and you can see their eyes coming really close. They were also like spying on us, looking at us. There were a lot of exchanges. They are highly conscious, highly complex and intelligent animals. You can just see by looking at them." It was very interesting also to have a vision of what they do underwater because you can see that they are super, super gentle. They were pushing the boat very, very slowly. At some point, we turned off the engine, and they started pushing the boat like they wanted to keep going. At some other moment, we kept going, and we went faster and they followed. One of them grabbed the mic. She kept it in her mouth for a few seconds, and then she let it go. Lamia explains that the purpose of the group is to patrol the area and check the whales' well-being, as well as educate local fishermen on how to react in case they come across them and which routes to avoid.